Hey guys, it's Jamie, and this is Friday Night Live, bringing you recovery-inspired hope. Today I have my very good friend Jonas with me here. Jonas, thank you for coming on the show with us tonight. Jonas is somebody that I have known in and out of recovery for a little while, and he has an amazing story and a wonderful testimony of resilience, and I really admire that, and I think it's really important. First of all, I want to acknowledge the fact that, Jonas, how old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
23 years old. That to me is so important because I know when I was 23, I wish that I was in the place where he is today. So why don't you give us a little bit of background on you, Jonas?
So like I said, I'm 23 years old. I grew up in a small town called Yukon, Oklahoma. I was born to two addicts, Joe Taylor and Gina Taylor. Gina passed away 5 years ago from this disease, and my dad has 26 years clean and sober. Few things, I watched my mom battle with this for a long time. One thing that was really hard was having to see what she did, and then later on realizing that even watching that happen, it didn't change anything for me. I still went down the same rabbit hole that they went down. And it, even hearing that I was an addict from a very young age, going to these meetings with my father, and just knowing that, I had to make that decision on my own. It wasn't anything someone could tell me. And I wish that I would have got it a lot sooner, but I'm glad now that I went through those hardships that I had to go through, because now I can possibly help someone else.
Awesome. So tell me, what are some of the biggest challenges for a young person in recovery?
Finding yourself and finding out what you can have and what all you gave away, because there's nothing that we really get taken from us. We always hand it off like it was a spirit stick at cheer camp. I handed it off very easily, and I always thought that it was someone was taking it from me, but it wasn't. It was all my own doing.
And what do you think about 12-step programs?
Well, 12-step programs are very important because I know 12 steps sounds like a lot, but if it was 3 steps or 4 steps, it's like microwaving something. I won't read it or even try to do it like that. I'll say, well, I think I got this, and just do it on my own.
Mm-hmm. And do you believe that there are multiple pathways for recovery? I mean, I know some people believe harm reduction, some people, like for me, fitness is one of my pathways. Like I started with 12 steps, but then, I did NA, then I did AA, then I did Celebrate Recovery, and now I find most of my peace and my recovery in, my faith-based community and also in fitness. Do you believe that there is like a whole holistic approach to it?
I believe you have to find what you like, because you can't just make recovery the only thing in your life. You have to have hobbies outside of it, and those hobbies can circle back to recovery, but sometimes like fitness or just, making furniture or something can help with it, because I know because I tried it to where I hid in the meetings and it didn't work for me. I had to find something else outside of it to make me actually like what I had going on in my life.
Very good. Do you believe that spirituality has a part in your recovery?
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be God or Allah, whichever religion. It has to be just knowing that your life is in a greater scheme of things than just normal life. Because if I thought that there wasn't, then everything that happened in my life would seem like it was for nothing. And I know everything that's happened to me in my past is for something, even if I can just touch one person.
Right. How do you measure success in recovery?
just having aspirations and goals and building towards them. I remember hearing my mom always tell me, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll be among the stars. So even if you make a goal and don't get it, you can measure how close you were or what else came out of it from that.
Yes. I know some people measure success in recovery as, achievements or especially things with like family restoration. Some people measure it with money.
Yeah.
So there's many different ways that people measure it. But just like you said, having aspirations and then like staying in the moment for things is and being grateful and enjoying the things that we have. I know I do all kinds of things in the recovery community. I'm a busy person. And for me, that works well, staying busy. Because I'm not a good person. What do they say? The idle mind is the devil's playground, right? So I try to like continually stay busy, and it was like achievement after achievement, massage license, townhouse, like car, whatever, like house, kids, like it was just all that. And then when coronavirus happened, right? It was like nothing. Yeah. And I was like, what I realized in that time was that I was not enjoying all of the gifts that recovery had given me because I was continuously striving and not looking around and seeing what I did have, and having gratitude for that. So that's something that I've learned in this whole coronavirus pandemic. So what can the recovery community do better to empower and support young people in recovery?
Well, they have plenty of workshops that are amazing for young people, and I guess just putting those more out there. And I think they already do a really good job as but supporting anyone that comes into the program. But just letting people know, because I know I recently relapsed, and whenever I came back, no one said anything like, well, what happened, or trying to dig at it. They kind of just said, all right, well, let's try something different. And that was amazing to hear.
Yeah, because I only have done the white chip one time, but I know before I came into recovery, I've gone into detox like 8 different times. And it was like, every time it was like, I felt like it was condemnation after condemnation. Like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get it right? And that was mainly from like my family. But, so I love the recovery community, how we are so just non-judgmental and take everybody back with like open arms. And, I always say it's not how many times you fall, but how many times you get up. And you are definitely living proof that you can still get up no matter what. And you just always come back. You just came back with a fire, and I'm really proud of you for that. And I just wanna let you know that. What advice would you give to someone who's considering recovery?
The main piece of advice that I got was, whenever I first came into the program, what the other life has. It's jails, you hating yourself. There might be some fun, but there's not as much good, not as much good as there is bad. So what that road has. So why not try something different? And that's amazing to hear and actually do, because first time I entered recovery, I tried this, but it was really, I was hiding in meetings, I was there for the social life, and it was just like you took away the dope. And now whenever I've come back, like she said, with a fire under my ass, I got a new job immediately, and I felt so much better about myself. I had money in my pocket to go do things that I've never done before, like going to go tubing with some friends, and it was one of the best days of my life.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I love how in recovery we get to go out and do fun things like that, and the independence you're talking about, having money in your pocket. I was just talking about that on another interview I did where I remember being in early recovery, and I think I was like waitressing or something at IHOP or something like that. Yeah. And I had money to like take the bus. I had money to like buy my own cigarettes and, you know, pay my sober living rent fee or whatever. And I didn't have much more than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple like dollar stores at the thrift store, but I was self-sufficient,
Yeah.
you know?
And having cigarettes to buy, like I remember bumming cigarettes from everyone, and now having my own in my pocket is amazing.
Yes, a little bit of like independence, right? We call it recovery capital.
Mm-hmm.
So recovery capital is something that we can say the more recovery capital that a person has, the higher success rate that they will have in long-term recovery. So that is a real thing. Okay, great. Anything else that you want to share?
Just that if you would have told me that I would be living like this and be happy with it, I wouldn't have believed you 2-3 years ago. But I'm happier and love myself more than ever before in my life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for your boldness and your courage for coming and speaking to us. And today is how many days sober?
31.
31 days sober. Awesome. All right. That's it. You have it, Mr. Jonas. Bye, guys. See you next week.